Patrick, congratulations this team's through to a third consecutive grand final. What did you make of the performance, especially, I guess, the character to come back from a goal down?
Yeah, I think, it was two teams, trying, again, playing as hard as they can to get into a grand final, Yeah, it was, again, for me, it's the character that we showed today for 120 minutes. So look, it was great, but when I look at the game overall, there's areas that we need to improve on. But I thought it was a well-fought, hard game between two teams.
Obviously, you conceded a freak goal, came from nowhere, but obviously you guys were behind. How pleased were you with the response? Because you guys were able to fight back and at least force extra time. How pleased were you with that?
Yeah, well, you either go two ways, don't you? You either collapse and let things just be what or you show fight, and I thought we did that. And again, as the game got on and as extra time, I thought we showed some the assertivity to try and score again. But that's what happens in finals. Sometimes goals like that go in, and they did, and but it was good to see that our players had the character to keep fighting and come back, especially in a game like this.
You mentioned there were some things you wanted to see improved on going into obviously next week. What are some of those things, I guess, that you weren't too happy with today?
Not that I wasn't happy. I think the first half we could have played a bit more. But again, look, the game's fresh in my mind. I need to actually probably have a look, and maybe I'm talking a bit more with emotion than actually seeing the game properly. But look, I think in the first half we need to improve on in certain areas. But I was pleased with the response after half time, even though they did score a goal after half time.
Marco said in his presser in the lead up to this that he was confident you had the players who could step up, I guess, and stand up and be counted in the big moments. He obviously did that. Jamie McLaren did that. How pleasing is it to see some of these players, I guess, hit their straps and find these moments at the right time? Yeah,
look, I don't think it was just Marco. I thought, Griff, made a great impact on the game. Same with Collar. The guys that come on in the subs, they really made an impact, and I thought they changed the game, so it's great to see.
All Melbourne grand final next week, obviously against Western United. I mean, I guess just your first impressions of what that's going to deliver.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you. Yeah, look, from my point of view, I only speak on my behalf. It's great that we can play at home. And it's a great achievement by the players, but again, there's so much work and so much to be done, before then.
That grand final obviously will be Western United's first in their history, something they're not necessarily experienced with, whereas for you it's your third consecutive. You've obviously won one, lost one. Does that give you a mental edge going into a game like that against Western?
No, really. It's 90 plus minutes. There's two teams, again competing. Again, I don't think so. I don't, in my personal opinion, I don't. In the day, it's 11 players going out there to play as hard as they can.
It does put you on the verge of some history. You would be the first A-Leagues team to complete back-to-back doubles, Premiership, Championship. I mean, I know you don't like to get ahead of yourself, but it must be exciting to be, I guess, on that sort of verge of completing something really special again.
Not really. I don't. Like I said, I don't really think about stuff like that, honestly. I'm just concentrating on tomorrow's training and see everyone pulls up and take it one step at a time.
And how's Flo? I mean, he got through 58 minutes. Was that a planned thing for him to play just an hour, or was he just a little bit, was it just something you saw in the game and you wanted to bring Marco on at that time?
I think it was a bit of both. Florent has been out for quite a while. It wasn't intended for him to play the 90 minutes. So look, I made the call, and again I just went with my gut, and it was around the time he was sort of going to come off anyway. So it worked out in both ways.
And just on Matt Leckie, he's a player who obviously copped a lot of criticism, I think, at the start of the season, and you were patient with him and told us he will take time, and he's really come into his own really in the last few months, and today was so heavily involved, played more centrally, and physically as well. He looked really up to it. How have you seen his season and what he's been able to bring to the side?
Yeah, like I said, when you guys were criticising him, I said, I didn't really care, and it takes time. And there's still a long time to go, So, again, he's progressing. day in, day out, and I'm happy for him.
Just on that as well, the influence that he had really seemed to up the ante in the second half, particularly playing centrally as well. Was that something that happened deliberately, that you saw that was going to be more in the second half to break the game open, or just generally what did you make of just the way he played in that second half, which changed the game?
No, we know we can sort of play inside as well, so it was a scenario where, I wanted to do it, and I did it, and we brought obviously Marco on, and obviously we had Griff on for Taras, so just an option that I know that he can play, and we did that.
Just another a question on the team as a whole. We know that your team are known for their fitness and their intensity with which they can play, and at the end of the 90, it's 1-1. You've come home pretty strong. Were you confident that your boys had the legs to run over the top of Adelaide?
Yeah, I train my team one way, and that's it. But also, you got to understand it's not just physically; it's mentally, and I think they showed both tonight.
Patrick, it's a much broader sort of question, this one. Given the resources set you've got, given the money, you're rightly or wrongly, even in a salary cap league, you're always seen as the money bags team. We always know there's pressure, whatever the game is, but do you feel that that really does impact, or is it something that you're able to create a bubble around and insulate the players and the entire club from when the games are on?
You talk about money and how we're like you said, number one, it is a salary cap league. Pre-season we trained on a football pitch. So you talk about money, but look at the facilities here that a team uses. Western United, they train out of Essendon. So we might have financial backing in the whole group, but it doesn't mean anything. We are building a facility, but we want to do that to improve our club and our academy and our juniors. We want to improve Australian football. Western Sydney, at the moment, currently, they've got a better training facility than us. So does that mean they're richer or not? I don't think it's. Again, when you say that, you say it because maybe we're backed by the CFG, but when you look at it, it's completely different to what you're saying.
But I guess it's perception and reality,
Yeah,
and all the rest of it. But you were talking when every time you're asked about not having beaten a top 4 team, which you've now managed to do, that it was disrespectful of the club and their achievements. Do you feel in some ways that your achievements are underestimated because of the perception that it's City, they should finish top 2 anyway?
Look, I think the difference between my expectation and maybe your guys' expectation is completely different. We're a football club. That's it. Just because we want to improve the game in Australia, it shouldn't be like one of those things. Oh, they have money. For me, it's ridiculous. And when I look at the broader picture, we want to improve the game. We want our kids to keep coming in and playing like the bosses, the Raffas, So when we implement better infrastructure, it doesn't go into the cap. It doesn't improve the squad. It helps the whole club in general, and that's what we do. And again, I don't know why people say it when a group is trying to help this game in Australia. I think it's the easiest one to say, they've got money, but really, I think we're all the same, to be honest with you. I think we're all the same. Again, salary cap league, everyone spends the same money. It's that, we take real pride in our infrastructure and we want to improve the game in Australia and improve our club. That's it.
Just one last one, PK. Just on Jamie McLaren, right place, right time, striker's instinct, good finish in the end as well. I guess just to comment on his performance tonight as well, and just him, what he's been able to do over this period. Yeah,
I think what I liked most, besides the goal, was his work rate and his intensity and his intent. For me, that was the most pleasing. And then he got rewarded with a goal. But I was impressed with his intent and his intensity in the game.